Hello again, beautiful people. It's Pretty in Pink, aka Lovely Love. So in my previous video I discussed what happened when I began meditating with yellow kunzite, and some amazing things happened, and I then received about 50 carats of green kyanite, about 5 pieces, about 10 carats a piece, and I started like meditating with that and wearing it in my necklace, and nothing happened immediately. Nothing happened during meditation, whatever, but something happened while I was sleeping. Something amazing. I don't know if this had anything to do with it or if it was just coincidence, but you be the judge of it. So I was working with the green kyanite, and fell off to sleep one night. This was maybe shortly after my experiences with the astral projection using the yellow kunzite. So, you know, I fell asleep one night, and I basically woke up in the middle of the night, and I went back to sleep again. And when I went back to sleep, my body was falling asleep, but my mind was wired. So I found myself in a position again where I was astral projecting, but this time it was a little bit different. This time I had the covers over me, very thick, heavy covers, and I went through the same process again. Raise your left hand. I raised my left hand. That was fine. Okay, raise your right hand. I raised my right hand, and then I, opened up my eyes and waved my right hand in front of my face. But instead of seeing the blue astral body, I instead saw nothing waving in front of me, and I realized. So I focused really hard, and I was able to see like an almost invisible hand waving in front of me, and it was later explained to me that the reason why it was invisible was because when I opened my eyes, I wasn't looking through my through my astral body or whatever. I was basically using my physical eyes to see my astral hand. So, I was kind of frustrated, whatever, but, I figured, hey, I'm astral projecting, let me try to get out. So I tried to pull myself up and jump out of my body again like I did before, and I couldn't. No matter what I did, it would not work. I felt like something was heavy was on top of me, and it was my blanket that was keeping me from astral projecting. So I calmed myself down, and I said, okay, you know what, we're gonna have to do this another way. So I decided that instead of pulling just getting up, I was gonna think my way out of my body. So I did that, and I felt myself beginning to leave and kind of like float above myself, and then I felt someone push me back in. Someone pushed me back in and kind of readjusted me back into my body, or I guess lined me back up or whatever. And so I looked at the end of my bed, and I realized that there was a man standing there, and I wasn't frightened. The old me would have been hollering and screaming. Maybe it was just something about his presence that made me feel safe. And yeah, so he was standing there, and then he was moving really fast. It was odd. And he came by my bedside, and at that time I had also gotten a lot of selenite. I have a selenite nightlight that I keep by my bed, and I keep all my log and my wands and everything there, and a lot of pure energy that's next to that bed. And so he was basically looking at my collection, and I had this feeling that he was very pleased with what I've been doing with raising my vibe. Yeah, so he was standing by my bed, and I looked over to my, to the right. So I looked over to him, and I said to him, in this voice, I said, and it's funny because it wasn't like my mouth was moving, it was kind of like I spoke with him, you know. I said, "Who are you?" Just like that. And he never responded to me, but for some reason I was thinking that maybe he was my spirit guide or something. So then this being, he came over to me and he started touching my leg and stuff. Like, he was moving really fast. So he said to me, "I'm going to do the same thing I did for you last month." And then he came over to me. He began to touch, I guess, around my stomach area. And I started to get really nervous. And I just got the feeling that he was going to do some work. Basically, for those of you who've been following my videos, I have had issues with uterine fibroids, and I got the feeling he was going to work in that area, and I got really nervous. And right as that happened, I was yanked out of my body and was pulled out, and I was taken somewhere. I don't know where I went. I came back. I remember I was looking at him, and he, you know, leaving, and I felt a feeling of, again, I felt a feeling of great loss by him leaving, or maybe it was because wherever I went, I don't remember where I went. I just felt really, I don't know, it was just a weird, odd, empty, lonely feeling. Yeah, so that happened, and then a couple of days later, 2 nights later, something very similar happened again. Instead, this time, you know, I woke up to someone. Basically, I felt like it was a woman this time, and it felt like she was electrocuting me. There was like these big wave of energy that was flowing through my body, and it felt similar to my Kundalini experience, where I felt like I was being electrocuted, but it was not as intense, and it felt more localized, as though she was working more in my on my back and in my stomach area. And what's another thing that's funny though is I have a curvature in my back, and I was looking in the mirror that night before going to bed, and thinking to myself, I wish there was a way that I can fix my back naturally so that it's completely straight. It's not a huge curve, but it's enough for me to notice. I woke up that night with her basically, she was doing some work on my back. I felt it mostly on my upper back, a lot of pressure, a lot of vibrations and energy flowing through my back. Then I was, I guess, turned on my stomach. Actually, when I first woke up, I felt someone pushing me. I was laying on my right side, and I felt someone push me to my back. And then that's when I felt the work being done on my back. And then I felt work being done on my stomach. It's like there was electricity moving through my stomach. So at one point, I was kind of like floating above her, floating above my bed, and I was kind of just looking down at her, and I just looked at how angelic she looked, and I thought to myself, like, wow, she looks like an angel. And she just looked at me, and I said to her, I said, I don't know where this came from, but I said to her, I would like help in losing weight. And she said, we will do that for you, in the sweetest voice ever. And right after she said that, another wave of energy went through my stomach again, but this time it was higher up in my stomach. And I was kind of like in and out, so I don't remember everything that happened. But yeah, and then shortly after she left, and it was amazing. So yeah, that's my stories. That's what's been going on lately. A lot of crazy stuff. Um, yeah, so hopefully I'll have more to share very soon. I'll talk to you later. I love you. Bye. Mwah.